Ekron, the Black City. Throughout the lands of Earth, there is no greater monument to the defilement and corruption of creation and the mortal form than this bastion of the Black Grail. Ekron is a terrible place. No mortal can survive here without the gifts of the Black Grail. Even those sworn to the sin of gluttony keep their distance, and the miasmic air is lethal even to the demons of the court. Beelzebub was once a mighty angel in service to heaven and Yahweh, but turning his back on his father, he was one of the first 3 exalted angels to fall, and his hatred for the mortals and all creation stretches back through the long eons to these days. Once, in an ancient time gone by, Beelzebub was known by the Philistines as Baal of the Flies and worshipped as a great god of the Philistine people who once called Ekron home. In fact, since his fall and worship here, Ekron has been a stronghold for the Lord of the Flies and a locus for his worship where his power is strongest. It is with the people of Ekron that Beelzebub's hatred for his mortal worshippers began to bloom, for long ago he coveted the Ark of the Covenant. At the Battle of Ebenezer, his servants slew the Hebrews and claimed this holy relic for their lord. Yahweh, however, did not take kindly to the capture of the Ark and unleashed a great plague upon those who stole the symbol of his covenant. Each and every town that the Ark was taken to en route to Ekron was devastated by the vengeful plague of God, and its people were stricken with tumours and disease. The plague sent by God was so potent that the followers of Beelzebub dared not bring the Ark to Ekron for fear of the divine's wrath. As their will broke, the servants of Beelzebub abandoned his orders and sent the Ark back to the chosen people. Enraged by this, Beelzebub swore never to forget this humiliation and vowed to despoil all of creation until all that lived was subjugated to his absolute rule. For 2,000 years, Beelzebub has schemed within the citadel in Hell's 7th circle and turned his dark genius to the designs of his magnum opus. Clever was his father's use of plague to make mortal men turn from their task and betray him. But if Yahweh could use plague, then so too would Beelzebub. This plague, this weapon of the Lord of the Flies, would eclipse even those sent by his father to punish the Pharaoh and mar and corrupt all it touched within creation. Never again would he trust mankind, so easily bent to the tyrant god's will through fear. Over long years of labour, Beelzebub infused his work with his own divine essence. Upon its release in 1436, the Black Grail brought the world to the brink of destruction. The Order of the Fly remade Ekron from the rubble, and as the Hellgate let forth demons, so too did it disgorge the power of Beelzebub. For many miles, a torrent of hellflies, insects, corrupted scorpions and locusts infested with the Black Grail carried it forth. No wall proved too high, no tower beyond their reach, and the Black Grail spread like a rotting wound upon the world, and the corpse wars began. Within Ekron, the worshippers of the Lord of the Flies gathered to offer tribute to the King of Gluttony, and wherever the Black Grail goes, so too do the standard bearers of Beelzebub. To a missionary of the Black Grail, Ekron is a paradise, a divine vision and a promise of a world to come. To the devotees of the Order of the Fly, Ekron is a truly holy place that their blackened hearts long to behold. But to all else, it is a nightmarish hellscape. To one not gifted by the Black Grail and in service to Beelzebub, this damned place holds horrors far worse than any hellfire. For 600 years, Ekron has stood as Beelzebub's seat of power, a festering wound upon creation, overgrown with rot and disease. Though strangely, within the rot, there is splendour. Whole temples, mosques, pagodas, churches, shrines and altars have been gathered from all corners of the world. Great swarms of grail thralls carry these places of divine worship to the city of Ekron, to entomb their grandeur in filth. To look upon the rot of Ekron is to see a putrid mass of rot and decay lining every street and building, but also to see great works of art, wonders of marble, and frescoes studded with gold and precious gems. It is not for the value of these things that Beelzebub hoards these great relics and places of worship. Would that were so, for the truth is far more horrifying. Adoration and worship linger upon these monuments, and like a parasite, Beelzebub feeds upon the power of faith that they still contain. The fear is that Beelzebub hopes to gather these relics and feed upon them, to once again take flight and challenge the gates of heaven like an engorged and vengeful fly, in order that their Lord may find their offerings more palatable upon which to engorge his gluttonous hunger for worship and adoration. The Order of the Fly conducts profane rites of desecration. These complex rituals corrupt the holy icons and transform them into morsels of faith to be devoured by their Lord. No matter how much divine energy or worship he consumes, however, Beelzebub will never fill the festering hunger within him, and no matter how much of creation he consumes, his gluttonous hunger will never be sated. What Beelzebub hungers for above all else is the sole right to divine worship. He believes that the natural order of things is that the parent should die so that the child can inherit their place. Were he to kill God, who else would be more suited to the throne of God than his most gifted child, Beelzebub? What do you think? Is Beelzebub one day going to cast down Yaweh and claim the throne of heaven in Trench Crusade? Or in his arrogance will he be bested once again? Let me know in the comments below, and if you'd like to know more about the forces of Beelzebub, click the video link to your right to discover the lore of the Plague Knights. Alternatively, to discover the faithful's answer to the corruption and mutation brought about by hell, click the video link to your left to discover the combat biologists. For discounts on your hobby supplies, please check out my affiliate links in the description below, and please like, subscribe, share a favourite video with a friend, or become a channel member. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon.